Hello and thank you for joining us for the news at noon. I'm Jurnee Taylor. Let's take a look at our headlines today. New at noon, after 14 days on the run, the Pennsylvania manhunt for escaped inmate Daniele Cavalcante is over. What we know about his capture in less than 2 minutes.
It's an urgent care, but for mental health. I'm Natalie Brand with how patients are now able to find care right when they need it.
And one of the most anticipated rock tours of the year is hitting the pause button at 12:22. We'll tell you how long you have to wait. But first, a look at weather. Meteorologist Scott Covert is in for meteorologist Nathan Scott. Scott, it is hump day. What are you tracking on this Wednesday?
Well, a lot of us are socked in under some clouds out there this afternoon, Jurnee, and those clouds have kept our temperatures a little bit cooler, but I do think we're going to end up slightly warmer than we did yesterday. Here at the lunch hour, 79 the current temperature in Conway, 75 in Little Rock. Now notice Searcy, well, there's not a lot of cloud cover right now near the Searcy area, and for that reason our temperatures have actually already bumped into the low 80s. It's 83 in Pine Bluff, 78 in Arkadelphia. Here's your satellite and radar. You can see those clouds keeping us a little bit cooler, and if you look into southern Arkansas, we've seen a steady stream of these scattered showers generally drifting in that southern 1 to 2 rows of counties from Texarkana through Camden and El Dorado, at times into Monticello and Crossett as well. Most of us are going to be dry today. Those showers will stay confined to southern Arkansas for the next couple of hours. 82 Little Rock's high temperature, feeling pretty nice out there despite it being slightly warmer than it was yesterday. We're going to continue to see these mild afternoons, cool mornings, a little bit of cloud cover keeping us on the cooler side with just some low chances of rain coming up in your 7-day forecast. I'm tracking that as well as a weekend warm up, just how hot it gets and how that could impact any of your outdoor weekend plans here coming up in about 13 minutes.
Thank you, Scott. The manhunt for an escaped prisoner in Pennsylvania is now over. Authorities finally located Daniele Cavalcante in a rural part of Chester County nearly 2 weeks after he went on the run. Bradley Blackburn reports from New York.
State police in Pennsylvania finally nabbed escaped inmate Daniele Cavalcante, seen here in handcuffs and a damp Eagles sweatshirt as officers led him to a waiting SWAT vehicle Wednesday morning.
Our nightmare is finally over and the good guys won.
The break came around midnight when a burglar alarm went off within the police perimeter in Chester County. Officers didn't find Cavalcante but began to zero in on an area where aircraft picked up a heat source. Around 8 a.m., tactical teams made their move.
They were able to move in very quietly. They had the element of surprise. Cavalcante did not realize he was surrounded until that had occurred.
But he didn't surrender.
He began to crawl through thick underbrush, taking his rifle with him as he went.
A dog finally subdued the suspect.
Thank God there were no injuries to law enforcement or to the public.
Cavalcante broke out of the Chester County prison 2 weeks ago, crab walking up the walls. His time on the lam included stealing and ditching a van, stealing a .22 caliber rifle from a garage, and putting the entire area on alert.
It's been definitely a fear factor because I have a 4-year-old little boy.
Authorities say Cavalcante will be returned to full justice, serving a life sentence for the murder of his ex-girlfriend in front of her 2 children. Bradley Blackburn, CBS News.
County commissioners say changes are already being made to bolster security at the prison. Authorities had offered a $25,000 reward for information leading to Cavalcante's capture. Well, back here at home, a man from Cabot is facing murder charges this afternoon. Police say 22-year-old Brandon Huff shot and killed 18-year-old Aaron Hall. Officers responded to a call on Grant Street Sunday morning around 10. Hall was taken to the hospital but died from his injuries. Police issued a warrant for Huff's arrest shortly after. According to the department, he turned himself in and is now being charged with first-degree murder. New at noon, the latest push to change Arkansas Freedom of Information Act is moving forward in the Senate today. Lawmakers voted Senate Bill 10 out of committee just a few hours ago. It now heads back to the Senate for a full vote. Now, those on both sides of the aisle had concerns with the original bill's restrictions on government transparency, including things like who joins the governor on taxpayer-funded trips. But last night, Governor Sanders and Senate Republicans backed off their original plan and filed a more concise bill with a focus on her family's security. However, even with the changes, there's still pushback about the entire process.
This last minute, making changes, scheduling meetings, canceling meetings is not the way to run a process. In a lot of areas of government, that we need more transparency, not less.
Again, that bill is headed back to the Senate for a vote, which is expected to happen this afternoon. After that, it heads to the House. We will have more on that process tonight at 5 and 6. Today, the tax cuts are expected to be sent to the House for state lawmakers to review. Despite the sound of tax cuts, there are some who object. Different groups gathered at the headquarters of the State Teachers Union Tuesday. They believe there are a lot of good ways to spend the surplus in revenue the state pulled in. However, the governor and supporting lawmakers want to see the money returned through the tax cuts.
This business really could have waited until the next legislative session, which is in January of 2025. But nevertheless, we are here and we are here to fight.
The group says that legislators should be focused on supporting early childhood education, hiring more caseworkers at DHS, and expanding mental health programs. And more legislative developments, a filed ballot initiative seeks to remove sales tax from period products. The Arkansas Period Poverty Project filed a proposal to have the sales tax removed from feminine hygiene products. Founder Katie Clark says on average, families in our state spend between $11,000 and $16,000 on feminine hygiene products in their lifetime. So having this ballot initiative will put money back into the hands of the citizens dealing with these issues every day.
They're the ones struggling and who are dealing with poverty or having to make the difficult choice between buying pads and buying dinner. And so I think being able to meet with them in the communities and where they are and just raise awareness and get their opinions.
Attorney General Tim Griffin told THV11 his office was asked to review the proposed initiative, and within 10 business days, it will respond with a decision. If approved, Clark says they'll have to get around 71,000 signatures by July 2024 to make it on the November ballot. This afternoon, the process is underway to remove the board members of Little Rock's Public Housing Authority. After findings, the authority has not submitted financial statements in 4 years. On top of that, there were hundreds of thousands of dollars flagged that were mishandled or unaccounted for. Last night, the mayor pushing the board for urgency to address the matter. THV11's Ashley Godwin reports.
Those are the options on the table. What is the pleasure of the city board?
Little Rock's board meeting started with business not on the agenda: how to handle the housing authority crisis. The city attorney calling for change after the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development sent out a report stating financial and management issues lasting years.
The HUD report, it's pretty damning.
Where'd the money go? Have you even figured out? There was a lot of issues where money isn't accounted for. Do we have any answers on that?
I don't have any answers. I don't know if the money went anywhere. What I know is that the money's not accounted for.
Several directors agreed the mayor should ask for the resignation of the 5 board members of the Metropolitan Housing Alliance, the city's housing authority.
If we have folks who are wanting to do the right thing, the easiest thing would be for them to resign effective immediately.
If they agree to resign, then we don't go through the public process.
The mayor will send letters to those board members asking for their resignation. If they decide not to resign, they will have a public hearing in 10 days to speak on the issue.
If we can get control of the board, these deadlines that HUD's imposed probably have a little bit of flexibility.
And the clock is ticking on this. HUD telling the city if there wasn't a new board within the month, they could take action to try and find and fix the situation, rather. We reached out to those board members for comment. We have not heard back. Happening today, the effort to end hunger in Arkansas as multiple groups are meeting in Little Rock for the 2023 Food Desert Summit. Every county in Arkansas has at least one food desert. The all-day event is sponsored by the Arkansas Hunger Relief Alliance. The Association for Community Health Improvement says several communities attending will receive $10,000 planning grants, and it's much needed funding. Finding a way out of darkness just got easier for a Maryland community. An urgent care health clinic with a care model that operators say they hope spreads throughout the country. Scott?
Not a bad day at all, but as we take a look here from our view 11, mostly cloudy skies in the metro. Some parts of Arkansas seeing some sunshine, others seeing some rain. Here at the lunch hour, we'll track those showers together. We'll get an update on the rest of the week's rain chances and a weekend warm up. All that and more coming up in your 7-day forecast after the break.